It's time for breaking bread with Papa. Hey, don't you know? Hey, it's our goal. Hey, it's time for breaking bread with Papa. Hey, don't you know? Hey, it's also a show. Hey.
Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Breaking Bread with Tom Papa. I'm Tom Papa. Thank you for joining us at the table. I'm here with my good pal, Kira Sultanovich. We're ushering in the new year, ushering out the end of this year. I don't know if you usher out years.
You can usher. You can escort them out nicely.
Escort out and usher in new.
Yeah.
Big stuff. It's all coming to a head. Kira and I are pretty much, well, we're off the road for a bit together as a team.
Yeah.
We have a lot of shows coming up in the new year. I actually have to talk to you about a bunch. Oh, we should talk about that one, though. The Netflix is a Joke Festival is back, and it's in May. And I have a huge show on May 3rd at the Theater at the Ace Hotel. Mm-hmm. Big show. Everybody out there has to come to it. I don't care if you listen in Omaha. I don't care if you're listening in New Jersey. This is a big one. There's so many comedians at the festival. We have a tough competition, and I need to fill up that theater.
I think Bill Burr is performing that night, too. So when you can't get into Bill's show...
My audience isn't Bill's audience.
I know.
Bill's audience is
different.
just the worst. He's at the Hollywood Bowl.
Yeah.
So we're at the Theater at the Ace. It's a good question. You know, I have put Bill on shows of mine at Largo, and it was very clear who was there for Bill.
Yes.
Very clear.
Yes. I was on an Anthony Jeselnik show, and Anthony unfortunately couldn't show up.
Right.
And his fans just had to deal with a bunch of comics who were not Anthony Jeselnik. Yeah. And they were not happy.
You can feel it.
Yes.
You can feel it. You can see it. You can feel it. If you're around, I'd love for you to be on that show with me.
I am around.
Perfect. So this is the first time that we can announce that Kira Sultanovich has a show at the Theater at the Ace Hotel on May 3rd, which is a great night because it's the beginning of the festival.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun. You'll go out and kick ass. And
that's a beautiful theater.
I've never been in it.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
That's what I hear.
Oh, it's incredible. I don't know if it's in its original, it's downtown.
It's an old one, right?
It's really, I did an event there a long time ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, nice.
So we're very excited. So everybody, come get tickets, tell your friends. It's going to be a big one. And then a whole bunch of other stuff on the whole 2024 tour is pretty much up. And we're going to have a special announcement about the Netflix taping for the next special. But I can't say that just yet. But no, that's what? I
said, pass me a note.
I'll write a note to you. I'm sorry to do this to you, but I'm going to start today's podcast talking about sports.
I love sports.
What sport do you love?
Oh, there's running is a sport. Mm-hmm. You can do stuff in a canoe. What kind of sports do you like?
Are your kids in sports?
Yeah.
They are?
Yeah.
Soccer?
Gymnastics, does that count?
Sure.
And basketball?
Sure.
Yeah, and martial arts, is that a sport?
No. Yeah,
chess?
It is, but...
Chess is considered a sport.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
I know.
Can you play chess? I know we talked about that. You don't know how.
I mean, I can because as a Soviet, it's inside of me somewhere.
Yeah.
I just have to kind of dig around.
Yeah, and learn what the pieces do.
And I know what they do. I just forget. I lose. Here's the problem. I lose.
Right.
I make silly choices.
It's such a great game. I love chess. When I had friends like in New York, Jim Norton used to play. There were different people that when you can like hook up with them and play, it's such a great game.
It is great.
It's really so good. To consider it a sport in our conversation right now, not really.
What kind of sports are you talking about?
I'm only talking about this because it's going to bring us to our families. So the New York Giants, that's my beloved team out of New Jersey, they call it the New York Giants because I guess they felt in marketing that calling them the New Jersey Giants was never going to work. And even though they play in New Jersey, they're the New York Giants. So anyway, they've been horrible this year. And they've been horrible for a long time. And this year was even just made people feel worse because this was the year they were going to be better, because the end of last season, it seemed there was hope. They gave us hope. And then they came out and they just destroyed that hope. And it's been really rough going. But now they have this new quarterback.
Yeah.
Backup quarterback. I think he's the second backup quarterback. Tommy DeVito. Have you heard about him?
I mean,
just because it's been a cultural...
It's a great comedy name.
It's a great comedy name. No relation to Danny DeVito that we can tell. He did come from New Jersey. But Tommy DeVito is this Italian kid who lives in New Jersey. And he's now the quarterback of the New York Giants. And he won a big game on Monday against the Packers. It was very exciting. He's brought life. It's kind of like... Do you ever go to a track event in high school and there's that one kid that can't run at all?
Yeah.
And after the race, he's still coming around the track and everyone applauds for him a ton at the end because he's alive.
Yeah.
He's alive and he's doing it. And he knows there's no chance of winning, but he's going to take his little self across the finish line eventually, and everybody goes nuts, and it's a little heroic moment, you know? That's kind of the Tommy DeVito and the New York Giants right now.
So when he first started, people were like,
God,
he's
boy.
not going to survive.
Yeah, he's not going to survive. This is going to be a thing. But the funny side story, and now he's giving him a little spark. He's giving him some life, which is fun. The side story, though, is his name is Tommy DeVito. He's Italian. He lives in New Jersey, and he still lives at his mom's house.
No.
Yes.
Come on. What?
He lives at his mom's house.
Oh, my God. And she's doing his laundry.
That's what he says.
Tommy, put your football stuff in the bin, and I'll wash it.
That's exactly what Tommy DeVito told the press. He said, why would I? It's the best. She cooks for me. She does my laundry. I don't have to worry about anything. Why would I not live there?
How old is this kid?
He's 24, 25.
Yeah, he's a kid.
He's a kid. How old are you, 4 ounce?
Who makes $1 million?
27.
27. He's younger than Joey.
Oh, my God. How much do you think he's making as the new
Not a lot.
What's not a lot?
Joey, what would you guess? Like 200?
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, that's not
200,000?
That's not a lot.
After taxes and his agent.
Yeah. Oh, my God. That's not. Yeah, he has to live with his mom.
And it's a great story because he's playing in New Jersey. He's living in New Jersey. He doesn't have the money to go live in a penthouse in Manhattan and just be about, hey, I'm a pro football player. And he just loves playing. He's played on this.
Here's what's great. He doesn't have money for hookers or
Right.
cocaine or to really get into too much trouble.
Right.
Enough money to give his mom something. Mm-hmm. You know, hey, Mom, I know you want those new pots and pans, those fancy ones.
It's going to be a good Christmas.
Yeah. And then take care of his mom a little bit. Mm-hmm. And still see his neighborhood pals and his friends. I mean, he's a hero.
He is a hero. And the whole state now has adopted him. And incredible. You should have seen on Monday night. Did you see it, Joey?
No, I missed.
Joey hates New York. It comes from Boston. It's a
history.
deep grudge.
I get it.
The whole state has adopted him, and they're going crazy. And his thing when he scores, he has the Italian hand gesture.
What?
That's his thing, and that's caught on. So now the whole stadium is doing this. Mwah. And they have emojis that are this, just this. And the whole place, he had a guy, I don't know if it's confirmed, but they were saying it was his agent, was down on the field with him. He looks younger than Tommy DeVito.
Oh, no.
He's in all black suit, black tie, black shirt, gold chain on the outside of the lapel, black fedora. on the cell phone.
This is an SNL sketch.
It is hilarious.
No way this is real.
It is so
this
funny.
This sounds like a movie pitch idea.
It really does. It really does. I'm writing a script right now, a pilot script for ABC that's based on Italians in New Jersey. And I hope it gives them proof of concept. Like, people love, since The Sopranos, they're always thirsting for that Italian thing in New Jersey. It's too good. It's too sweet.
And even if you're not Italian, but you live in Jersey, it's like it's embedded in your life. My Puerto Rican mother-in-law's sister, she might as well be Italian because she's only lived in Jersey, and
they all talk the same.
All the mannerisms.
They all talk that way. They all have impatience like that. They just all like, but they love you so much.
That's amazing.
So when he was during this game, they had a camera on his dad across the way in the stands. His dad looks like he's eaten all of New Jersey.
Oh no.
His dad is tick about to pop. He is. I hope he gets through the holiday season.
Oh.
This guy just eats lasagnas.
Did this DeVito kid come from a college team? Where did they find him? How did they?
Yeah,
it sounds like a Rudy situation.
It totally does. I don't even want to look up the college because I want him to just have played for Pascack Valley High School, and then he had to go to work at the diner, and now they just said they need someone, and he gave it a shot.
He showed up. Yeah, he just did a walk-on. That's how. Yeah, I agree.
We had this quarterback that they paid a lot of money from Duke, this guy Jones, and he was just not. It just wasn't happening, and he was really. People were souring on him. They really gave him a shot, and he's not that great. And then he got hurt, and then I think they went to another backup, and then they got to DeVito. I believe. I don't think DeVito was the first guy. So this is kind of typical of New Jersey football. Is you always have even when you make it, it always feels like it's about to fall apart, and like you shouldn't be getting it. You know what I mean? Like Eli Manning was our great quarterback for a while. Yeah. His face says New Jersey. You know what I mean? You never looked at him like on the sidelines and like, oh, that guy looks steely-eyed and ready to make things happen. He always looks slightly worried and confused. You know what I mean?
Is that a New Jersey face?
It's a New York Giants. It's a New York sports face. A lot of worry.
Yeah.
A lot of worry. Yeah. A lot of, we're going to blow it. Unless you're Yankees, then there's a little more confidence.
And what are you? Are you Yankees?
Yankees, yeah. That's why Joey is really mad because he's a Red Sox fan.
Well, I mean, that makes sense.
Why?
Boston.
Yeah.
Well, who else? Who else do you have?
I thought you were going to say something about his personality.
Oh no, he has a great personality.
Right. So despite that, he's a Red Sox fan. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, you know who I hung out with, Joey?
Oh.
I went and did his podcast. A1 Julian Edelman.
Wow, how'd that go?
We're friends now. We're friends.
What's Julian Edelman?
Julian Edelman is a football player for the New England Patriots, Joey's favorite team. Of
course, that makes sense.
He won the Super Bowls in like the second wave of Tom Brady winning Super Bowls. He won them early, and there was a little gap, and Edelman is this guy. He's my height. He's 5'10", but just built like a fire hydrant, and tougher than anything.
Wow!
And he was. Right, Joey? I mean, dominant.
Yeah, he was awesome. He was probably the athlete that, I don't know, when you played sports, if there'd be like guys you watch on TV that you try to embody, I'd be like running cross country just thinking about Julian Edelman. So.
I know. He's just like a guy he's one of those guys who on paper shouldn't be as great as he is, but because he's just ferocious and dedicated, he was one of the greatest.
But that's what makes these amazing stories. Is when you shouldn't have made it.
Right.
Somehow.
That's why I have my nephew Sam, who I think you've met.
I've not met.
Sam. Joey met him. He was on the podcast. He he's not a sports fan, and he's always kind of like, not into. He kind of, smart kid, one of those like, sports. The drama, the stories, the elation, the human spirit, the stuff that comes out of sports is so fantastic. Like all the reasons that I love it, she should love it too.
Here's my issue.
Okay.
I love watching because it brings my husband joy and sometimes sadness.
Yeah.
When his team's not winning.
Sure.
But thankfully, Mike has never been the kind that will throw a beer and scream at the TV. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's just like,
ruin the family's
oh,
afternoon.
well, no, he's never.
Yeah.
But I don't like it when one of the teams, which is inevitable, loses. I can't take it. I have to leave the room when I see a grown man.
Yeah.
Sweat just dripping from every part of his body, and he's sitting on whatever it is, the basketball bench or the dugout or whatever, and he's looking at the numbers
winning.
And the other team, and we have 5 seconds left, and oh my God, and then he realizes, and the camera's on him, and they zoom in, and he puts his hands in his head, and then they cut to his wife and kids crying. I know they're millionaires. I know they drove
It's their whole
to the
life.
whatever to the stadium in a Rolls Royce. But I literally, and Mike makes fun of me. He goes, "You're going to want to leave soon. You're going to want to leave because this is an upset or whatever it is when the underdog wins and the ones that everyone had money on, they're losing. You're going to want to leave and you're going to want to go because it makes me sad."
Cynthia has the same thing.
And I couldn't play sports when I was a kid because of that.
Oh, really? When you were a kid?
I was at first base. And Coach Christensen, I don't know if he's still alive. Hey,
Probably
Coach
not.
Christensen. Oh, no, that's awful. But I'd be on first, and I'd have a runner on my base, and they were behind by 3 or 4, whatever. And I'd say, "You guys are gonna, don't worry. Don't worry." Like giving a pep talk to the other team. And he'd yell, "Sultanovich, stop giving the other team a pep talk."
You
and
mean
I'm
when
like,
a kid would be on first?
You'd
be like,
I'd be like, "Don't worry. I know you're 3, down by 3. But listen, I bet you can actually steal second. I bet you can." And I'm giving them I'm making them feel better. And they're all sad because it's some important game that I didn't care about, but I knew everyone else on my team cared about. So I pretended like I did. And then I knew they were going to lose. And then I'd have a runner almost in tears, and the coach is yelling at them, and I'm like, "Don't listen to that coach."
So I was going to guess that because Cynthia has that similar thing where it really just tears her apart when she sees people that are losing and crying, and especially it is deep because a lot of these,
Super Bowl,
playoff game.
God.
I mean, this is their whole life has poured into this moment, and it's failing. She has the same thing, but I always equated it, or I was going to guess that it's because you're moms. But if you cultivated this when you were young,
I felt it when I was young.
Yeah,
I was very slow on the cross country team in high school. Extreme, second to last slow. And there was always another kid from one of the other schools just as slow, and I'd go, "Hey, let's just run together."
Yeah.
And I would tell them, "Don't give up, don't walk. We can do this. Because if you just cross that bridge and then we get to the thing and then we're almost there." And I would try to encourage them.
Even though you were the slowest?
Well, so here's why I was second slowest. When we got about a couple 100 yards to the finish line, I would take off like a lunatic.
You were just storing it up.
So I wouldn't be the actual last person. But I was basically always second to last in all of our cross country meets. And I was just doing it because I had to do an extracurricular thing.
Right.
And again, Coach Christensen, he was also the coach for that. Mm-hmm. And he would yell at me, and he would know that I was letting the other kid know, "You can do it and you can finish."
Right.
And then kick dust in their face.
So when I was saying earlier about the kid that the slow kid who everyone's cheering for a half hour after the event's been over, it was almost you.
It was kind of me.
Yeah.
Yeah. But see,
so you are, in a way, Tommy DeVito. In a way.
Oh my gosh.
Except you don't live at home and you did your own stuff.
What if we're all a little bit Tommy DeVito?
You know what they call Tommy DeVito? You know what his nickname is?
What is it?
Do you know it, Joey?
No. Italian Stallion, something like that?
He's so upset that we're talking New York. No, not the Italian Stallion. They call him Cutlets.
Why?
Because he loves his mom's chicken cutlets.
Oh my God, I can't stand this guy. He is hilarious.
Hilarious.
And so,
It's
he
the
just
best.
loves it. Is his mom at the games at least?
His mom is at the game, so they show the shot from the stands, of up in the stands. His agent, who we don't know if he's just a character stopped at Party City or if it's really his agent.
Yeah.
I'm sure they found out by now, and I just have not up on it, is next to his dad, and his dad is wearing what looks like just tons of beads from Mardi Gras, and he's in his jacket, and so Tommy DeVito scores, and everyone's going nuts. The agent is jumping up and down. The big chubby father kisses the agent on the cheek in a big kiss. Then he turns and kisses another guy on the cheek. This is so Italian. And his mom is just screaming and yelling next to them. So great. And then they go home and make chicken cutlets.
What are the stats on Italian players in the NFL over the years?
Good question.
You know, because it's
Not that high.
Not that high.
Not that high.
It's like a leaflet.
It's probably, yeah, of greats.
Well, I'm not even saying greats. They've made it to the pros, whatever, you know,
Yeah.
AFL, NFL.
I mean, there's got to be a good number, but I'm not sure.
Are they kickers? Because they came from soccer?
No.
Yeah, they came from soccer. They're kickers.
They're not kickers. It's not. No, Italian American New York is different. Let's see. I wish we had better. This is a high risk endeavor trying to get anything.
Well, while you're looking that up, can I tell you another sports story?
Oh, wait. They're doing.
Oh,
See, yeah. I have to put NFL just because it immediately brought up Italian football players, a whole bunch of Italian names of people that play soccer in Italy. Who is a famous, does Italy play American football? List of Italian American in all sports. Oh, geez.
well,
American football.
I'm thinking it's not a long list.
It's not a long list. It's a pretty long list, but not a lot that we know.
Are you going back to like 1949?
It's got everybody.
Yeah.
From the 50s.
Yeah.
Well, do you know Carmen Cosa from
Of course I know
1930?
Carmen Cosa.
Do you know
We used to yell, Cosa, from the stands. Cosa, Cosa.
what about Al Del Greco?
Oh, my God, these
What about
names.
Tony DeLuca?
Oh, my God. All of these people have killed.
What
Just
about
murdered. Just have bodies just piled up.
Mike DeVito?
Oh, there's.
Do you want to know when Tommy DeVito was born? 1998.
I can't stand it. I still have student loans from 1998.
This is too long a list. It's a long list of
All
a
right,
lot
so
of
it's a long
people.
list.
It's a long list. It's a very long list of people who you've never heard of. Now, I know there's probably some people out there that are screaming and yelling.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so here's some bigger
How did
names.
you forget Vincenzo?
Tommy. That's what my family calls me, Tommy.
Tommy.
And there's a listener at on my radio show on Sirius XM, and he calls in, and his name is Davy Baby, and he calls in Tommy from New Jersey. He calls in Tommy, and it makes me think of my cousins. Vince Lombardi, only the greatest coach of all time with the
Sure.
Green Bay Packers.
Yeah.
Lombardi. Vinny Testaverde. Dan Marino.
Oh, that's right. Marino, I forget.
He's like my
Yeah.
kind of Italian. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
like You go, he's Italian?
Yeah.
Joe Montana. He's got to be a mix.
Yeah, for sure.
But his maternal great-grandparents came from Sicily.
Okay.
That's where my people are from. Part of some of my people.
Well, he's from my team.
All right, then it drops pretty quick.
Oh.
You're now Gino Marchetti, a friend and teammate of Alan Almecchi
These
from the
names
Baltimore Colts.
are amazing.
Colts. Dick Vermeil, Nick Bonaconti. Yeah, he was a great Italian. Current Italian. And that's the list is over. So you're right.
You're
right.
listing these names, and they all sound like great pasta dishes. I just got so hungry. Like, all of these names sound like a sauce.
You want to go in the city and grab some Bruno Banducci's?
That's what I'm saying.
Come on, it's Friday. Let's go get some Bruno Banducci's.
We'll get some Montanas.
Let's get some Banducci's, throw in a little Montanas. Hey, doll. Hey, doll. Can you throw some Costanzos on there?
Doesn't it make you hungry?
How are the Costanzos today? Are they good? Be honest.
Amazing. They're fresh.
All right. Costanzos all around. So I'm very excited that this is all happening because on Sunday, I'll be back in New Jersey doing the Big Papa family Christmas thing. We've talked about that. And I'm in charge of organizing it with my cousin. And we will be jammed into this tiny little house at my cousin's. And nobody really, in very Italian fashion, no one really feels that they need to respond to an email. We could easily walk in and there could be 75 people. It's probably going to be around 65. It could be as high as 80. I have no idea. It could be 20. Nobody seems to care about responding.
You got to just start calling them. Don't email.
I know.
You got to just start calling them.
It's really true.
Then they feel that a little bit tinge of guilt. Mm-hmm. And then they're like, of course I'm going to be there, and I'm going to bring 500 bandinis with me.
All of my cousins are making cookies. They're bringing cookies. My cousin RC is working on it's funny, he's in charge of beer and wine and drinks. He's like, how much beer and wine do we need? Not much. It's not a drinking crowd. No, nobody really boozes it up, and that's not the event to do it. I was like, just bring 4 bottles of each just for show. It's like a couple beers.
You're Italian on both sides.
I am, and I have one grandfather that was German.
And how many of your cousins are Italian? Like,
they're all,
both sides. Just what I'm saying, like whoever your parents' siblings married.
It seems like a lot.
A lot.
Yeah. They're all in. Yeah, it's going to be very heavy Italian, which will be great. I'm going to go pick up my daughters, and then I'm going to drive them to my cousin's Joanne's house. We're going to hang out with Josephine and Bob and Anthony.
I feel like I'm getting a little peek at what you sounded like when you lived in Jersey.
I'm trying to turn it on.
I hear it.
Yeah.
It's working.
I didn't have I had a heavy accent. It's funny, my daughter is going to school in New Jersey right now, and it's starting to sneak in.
Really?
I just, not a little bit, just a little bit. I had it, but then when I was acting in college, they took me aside. I was doing All My Sons, which takes place in, I think, Ohio, that play. And they said, so you're Midwestern. So they took me aside and said, here's some things that you say that the rest of the country doesn't say it that way. And they went through the list.
Yeah.
Talk, coffee, draw, stuff like that. And just hearing it, I started concentrating on it and kind of cleaned it up.
Yeah.
But people say when we're performing, people come up and they'll say that they did hear it. They hear a little of it.
I hear a little bit of it when you're performing, only because it's more the not intonation, but like
pacing.
The pacing, kind of like how you might repeat a sentence. Mm-hmm. And give it an extra oomph.
Emphasis.
Yeah, and then the little Jersey sneaks in that way, like through the back door, like a little right up there. Mm-hmm. You Jersey-fy some of your sentences. Yeah, I hear it.
Yeah.
I don't think there is a San Francisco accent. People say that they think there is. I don't think there is.
I couldn't say that there was.
Some people think that the only thing we have is hella.
Hella.
Hella is a San Francisco Bay Area thing.
Uh-huh.
You grew up saying hella, I'm hella late, that's hella far.
Right,
I'm
right.
hella hungry.
Yeah.
That's a thing, but that's the only thing we have. That's it.
What about the Italians in North Beach?
They were Italian. That's the thing. So it's weird. It's like San Francisco's this weird city of like everyone that's an immigrant, it feels like they just got there that afternoon.
Right.
You know, because like
Yeah.
the Chinese community,
They stay within.
there's like no English. And I'm not saying that in a racist way. These are my friends that I grew up with. Their parents know English. Zero.
Don't have to.
They didn't have to.
Yeah, of course.
And then my parents. So like, maybe that's why there's no real accent
Right.
because it's just
Wasn't-
so many immigrants.
Do the Italians in North Beach sound like the Italians in New York?
No, so we used to go to this little cafe. I wonder if it's still happening. Cafe Trieste. And on the weekends, there are these little 4'1" Italian men, this big, and this big around. They just look like a ball.
Yeah.
They just were a round sphere. And you would get coffee and they would sing Italian opera.
Nice.
And when you go give them
Yes.
yes, and they're so tiny. They're so tiny, and the little espresso cup looks so big in their hands. They're so little, and you'd compliment them afterwards. That was incredible. That was beautiful. Oh, and they just speak to you in full Italian.
Ah.
So I don't know. I thought they were hired. I was like, oh, they
Yeah.
hired. No, they just. I mean, maybe they do speak English.
Yeah.
They just sound like they just got here from Tuscany.
There's a restaurant near Cobb's.
Mm-hmm.
Might be Villa Roma.
Sure. Yeah, that's.
It says on their sign the oldest Italian restaurant in
Yeah.
America.
Yes.
And how could that be? I always say to myself as I'm hustling along. How could that be in the shouldn't it be in New York?
It should.
Yeah.
Do they mean America?
I think they do.
I don't know.
I think they're making a claim.
Yeah. When I was a kid, North Beach was way more Italian. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you can't have a Chipotle in North Beach. It just you
Right.
can't. And there were no chains, no franchisee chainy thing. You know, it was
Right.
just a
Everyone.
deli, a restaurant, a coffee shop, a dry
Mm-hmm.
cleiner, a deli, a restaurant.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just what it did. It repeated.
Yeah.
It was a pattern all the way up and down Columbus.
Yeah. It's still, I have to say,
is.
North Beach is more Italian than Little Italy is in New York now.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really shrunk in New York. It's down to a couple of blocks. And Chinatown is just taking it over.
Yeah.
And it's really small.
And that's funny is our Chinatown in San Francisco also butts up against North Beach.
Yeah.
Because once you get out of that Stockton tunnel,
Right.
that's the end of Chinatown. And then you have,
Yeah.
yeah.
North Beach. So great. So I'm excited to go back, and it's going to be on Sunday. I can only hope that the party syncs up with Tommy DeVito
Oh, is there a game?
playing. Yeah.
That's going to be incredible.
I know.
You have to set up a camera. You have to set up a camera, please.
It's got to be happening all over the state. I mean, everybody has got to be.
I know, but you have to set up a camera and just get all of your families drunk on cookies or wine reactions.
It's going to be very
cheering
funny.
on this, sweet Italian boy from Jersey.
Yeah. It's really, he's become, he is a little bit of the Italian Stallion Joey. See, Joey, we just don't be jealous that we have a story this year.
I'm not jealous. I know we got nothing going on, no stories out of
know.
Boston, but
Is there anything you want me to ask my new best friend, Julian Edelman?
ooh, not really. I feel like I'm good. No,
Just froze up.
Yeah, I don't know what I could possibly ask that man, He's just lived as an idea for me for so long that
Right.
maybe I'll just leave it that way.
Did you play sports as a kid?
I did, yeah. I played like hockey, baseball growing up, and then running seriously like high school, college. Yeah.
You could see him being a light little sprite running through the woods and cross country.
Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
I can see you being a cross country runner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is Mike? What's
What
his background? His
Puerto
heritage?
Rican,
Puerto Rican.
and Irish.
And
So his
Irish.
parents are like West Side Story. They met in Queens,
Mm-hmm.
Queens,
Queens.
Long Island. I think maybe his dad's from.
A little
Is
deeper.
there a Rockaway something?
There is.
Okay, something
Rockaway
like that.
down on the. It's like a little beach. Queens.
I don't know if he grew up on the beach, but Queens
Mm-hmm.
and Long Island, and then I think the Bronx,
Mm-hmm.
Spanish Harlem.
Right.
You know, his mom was born in Puerto Rico.
Boy, beanie,
Yeah.
boing.
Boy, does he watch West Side Story way too much. Way too much. I had some shows the other night, and I said, "What did you and the kids do last night?" And he goes, "We watched West Side Story."
The new one,
No,
the classic.
no, the old one. And I go, "That's too much. You've already watched it. Like, I mean,
It's
maybe
great.
once a year, maybe.
Yeah.
It's like the third time in a few months.
Really?
I go,
He's
you know, we
feeling
have
it.
like all the streaming,
You think
all
it's-
the streaming.
You think it's because of the holidays? He's starting to feel a little nostalgic.
I don't know. I mean, someone recently asked me you're in a mixed marriage, and I just laughed and laughed. I go, how is it mixed? Like, well, your husband's Latino, and I go, really? I think it's stretching. I mean, he is.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
but it's not
it doesn't
like
feel like.
oh, we don't speak the same language, and we don't
Right.
understand. Like, our cultures are so different. And I go, yeah, but he was born and raised in L.A.
Yeah.
and he's just an LA guy, and they were like, I love how this generation, mixed marriages.
Well, is that
Oh.
an older generation saying that, or a younger?
No, a younger person.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I would think that would be an older perspective.
It does. So when his parents got married,
Yeah.
his grandfather was a little bit like an Archie Bunker,
Mm,
not too happy. His son was
The Irish
marrying,
one.
yeah,
right.
a Puerto Rican.
Right.
The next day, they literally, da, 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 we're leaving. They left. They left
Really?
New York. They left New York and drove out to California. I have to think it's maybe because there were some pissed off
Yeah.
Irishmen.
Let's go. Let's get
Yeah,
out of this.
Let's get out of it.
Really
But I think it's a great mix.
interesting.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
And all his cousins are like blonde redheads with green eyes and freckles. I might have told you this story. There's this great picture that I love so much. It's a cousin picture at a wedding.
Right.
And everyone's getting together. They're like, come on, cousin picture, come on. And they're all redheads, all of them, with freckles and white pasty skin. And they're all great. But,
Yeah.
they're just Irish.
Yeah.
And they go, Mike, come on, get in, jump in. So he had taken off his tuxedo jacket, but he had that black vest with the white dress shirt, and he jumps in the front, and it looks like the valet driver has photobombed this group pic of like white kids, because he's like, you know what I mean? The cater waiter
Yeah.
jumped in last second, because you've met him. Well, when he was younger, he looked way more Latino.
Right,
Way,
right.
way more. Yeah.
Are his folks still around?
Yeah. Yeah. Still live in the same house
Really?
he was born in.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's in California.
Yeah.
That's in-
Here in LA.
and do you see them on the holidays?
Yes, they come over, his sister and his nephew, and my dad will come over. So we're going to do, just again, small
Right.
little thing.
Christmas Eve or Christmas Day?
Day.
Christmas Day.
So
Nice.
as Jews,
Yes.
we didn't know.
Right.
We did Christmas Eve.
Right. Which is what Italians do too.
Really?
I just saw a post on Instagram saying, I'm on all these Italian accounts, and I think one's like hardcore Italians. He said, you're Italian if you celebrate Christmas on Christmas Eve.
Is it because you go to Mass right after the dinner?
Yeah, and it's the big Feast of the Seven Fishes, and you
Yeah.
have everybody over, and then people go to midnight mass, and then Christmas is just your small immediate family gifts.
You
and
wake
chill
up, you're in pajamas.
all
You're
day.
just having the coffee. like
Yeah.
every single commercial.
Yeah. Christmas this year is on a Sunday. So
Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve is
Yeah.
a Saturday.
No,
Yeah.
Christmas is Monday,
I don't think you're right.
25th.
Are
I think
you?
she might be right.
You're right?
You owe me an apology.
Christmas is Monday.
Christmas is a Monday.
That's why you're having the thing on. Well, you're having it this Sunday.
Right.
But did I ever tell you when I was a kid
Mm-hmm.
how I was so jealous that we didn't have a tree and my whole neighborhood was lit up with trees and lights and tinsel? And did I ever tell you what I did?
I forget.
So it was the late 70s, early 80s, and those big, huge feathers were in.
Yeah.
My parents had a floor vase that was tall, one of those tall, and they had like 6 or 7 of these like really cheesy disco feathers, and they were purple and green and red and gold.
You're right.
And they were just part of our living room decorations.
They were hot.
And I decided that was going to be my Christmas tree. So I would find like whatever, like a bow on a present that came loose, and I'd tuck it in my pocket. When I came home, I would stick it on the vase. And then like some tinsel from Sarah and Rachel's house down the street. They had this massive tree. Their tree was so big, it bent. It was like a Snoopy, like it bent. It was so
At
it
the
was
ceiling?
too tall for the ceiling, and it would like bend over,
Yeah.
and it was incredible. To me, it was the most incredible thing I'd ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And it was just covered in. Remember that tinsel you used to throw?
Yep.
Just shreds.
I love
and I would
that.
just like pocket a little bit.
And bring
some
it
in
home.
my pocket and bring it home, and then
Put it on
slowly
the feathers.
decorate the feathers.
What was your parents' reaction when they realized?
They knew I was a lunatic. They knew I was mentally ill when I was a kid, because I didn't have any other choice. I had to have a Christmas.
Yeah, you wanted Christmas.
I wanted Christmas.
It's a powerful force.
I would take my own toys
Mm-hmm.
and wrap them. Toys I already had, owned for years, and put them under the tree.
Oh.
And just
You
try
would
to
wrap
do...
them yourself
I would.
and put
I'd
them under
wrap
the
them-
feathers?
Yes. And any kind of little...
Oh, Santa came. You'd scamper down there by yourself in the morning?
In the morning, I would unwrap my gifts that I already owned.
How do you know?
Did this go on for years?
I did this for a few years.
Yeah.
And then my parents started to really feel sorry for me.
Yeah.
And then we moved.
Mm-hmm.
Junior high, we moved, and I begged them for a tree.
Yeah.
And it was the first time
Yeah.
in my life that they were like, all right,
So they did the tree.
we'll have a tree. And I don't know why, they said, we'll even do a, Christmas Eve dinner.
Wow. And so then it started.
So then we invited all these Russians over.
Right.
And I saw my mom do one of the most amazing things once.
Yeah.
A friend brought a girlfriend. We didn't know she was coming.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone was doing gifts and exchanges and presents. And my mom felt terrible. Like, this girl's just going to sit here on this couch and watch everyone open presents.
Right.
She went upstairs. She found a belt. Beautiful. Like, it was the 80s. So
Yeah.
it was very crazy ornate. Like, it had all these like splashes of color, and it was leather, and it was chunky, and it was big. But it still had a little tag on it. My mom hadn't worn it yet.
Right.
She found a box. She wrapped it.
Yeah.
And she brought it downstairs and hid it under the tree. And then someone else discovered it. Like, oh, Ilona, this is for you. And for me? Like, the look on her face. Like, but how did you? They're like, of course, we knew you were coming.
Santa. Your mother's all of a sudden Santa Claus.
So when I saw my mom do that, that was just like one of the most
That's so sweet.
selfless things. Even though I'm sure there's better things that she's done in her life.
You're right.
But I was a kid who thought, what?
Yeah.
Something of yours?
You nailed it.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to think that she was kind of inspired or learned
Assimilated.
how to give her own things as gifts from watching you wrap up your own toys and give them to yourself.
God. And the acting job I did was incredible.
Yeah.
I would tear into them.
Mom,
What is
look.
it? What is it?
Look what Santa brought me.
Just this old Barbie that was so jacked up already.
Look, Santa gave me this.
I think one of my Barbies I wrapped had like marker, like I tried to give her makeup. It was just disgusting. Yeah.
Oh, it's so sad.
Yeah.
But sweet.
But in the Soviet Union, there was obviously no Christmas. But
Yeah.
Ded Moroz, Ded means like father, grandfather, uncle. Moroz is freezing, winter. Uncle Winter.
Uncle Winter comes?
Uncle Winter comes, but he's only on New Year's. So New Year's Eve is a massive celebration
Right.
for Soviets.
Isn't it funny? Like there's something just in human beings that needs to celebrate and end the year
That's
and
right.
start anew. And there's like that, and everyone expresses it, whatever way your parents told you to express
Yeah.
it.
Well, they couldn't do it any other way
Yeah.
in Russia and when it
Right.
was the USSR. So I've never met a person from my times, Soviet times, who didn't like have a massive New Year's
Right.
party, just
Right.
explosion.
Do you carry that?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
like working on New Year's now as a comic.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like it. I like to be out.
Yeah.
Usually they pay really, really well.
I
so
know. I should have worked this year.
You don't like to work on New Year's?
I don't. I would work in New York, like do an early spot just at the cellar
Yeah.
during their New Year's celebration. And then it was just always with family. It was always with my daughters
Yeah.
and my wife and like some very close friends and my sisters and that kind of a thing. And now we're at a point where the kids don't want to really hang for New Year's with us.
No.
And we're kind of cut loose. And yeah,
You guys just in bed by
I should go
8?
back to working. No, we still try and do it. And last couple of years, last year Cynthia had COVID.
Oh.
So I was on my couch by myself,
Yeah.
drinking vodka and eating caviar. and
Nice.
And
That's a
watching
good
TV.
way.
It was nice. It was good. I don't have to go crazy. Remember last year how it poured?
It was wild.
Remember the weather last
We
year?
had an insane winter last
Yeah.
year. I know not compared to other places, but it was wild, yeah.
So this year, do you have plans this year?
I'm going to work, yeah.
You're going to work.
I'll be at the Crow if anyone in Los Angeles.
Ah, the Crow. That's nice. I should start working again on New Year's, I suppose.
It's something to do.
It's something to do because now I got nothing to do and I
Yeah.
can't come up with anything.
Yeah. Now,
Maybe I'll go watch you at the Crow.
come down. It's a small little room.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to get other spots too. So,
So you'll run around a little
yeah,
bit?
I like to run around.
Right. And what about Mike?
Yeah, he either comes with me
Mm.
or he doesn't.
He's at home with the kids watching West Side
I
Story
do,
on
yeah.
New
Oh
Year's.
God, again, Michael, get over it. It's a mixed marriage.
Maybe he thinks you're more mixed than you think.
No.
I don't know. He's sitting in there watching that all the time.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Streaming it big time.
Like the older you get, maybe the more, there is a
You
thing
do,
that
you get
happens.
drawn
You get
back.
more to Ancestry.com. That's why all these like old men, especially, I don't know if you saw, there's a statistic. They are the ones that start the whole Ancestry.com and making the family tree.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it happened to Mike's dad. He's obsessed.
Interesting.
He asked me all these questions about my family, and I go, I have no idea.
Right.
They're gone.
Right.
They're dead.
And we never clocked it.
And you know what I
Does
realized?
your father know stuff?
Yeah. And he got the information before a lot of people died too. But
Yeah.
I realized I can also just tell him anything. Oh, my
Don't
great uncle.
do that.
Why not?
Come on now.
Volodya.
You're
Everyone
so
has
Russian.
a Volodya.
Russians are so good
I know,
at just
we're
wiping out
sneaky.
history and making up
We're
new ones.
Sneaky. Don't trust us. No, but I mean, he thinks that because my mom was born in Kyrgyzstan because it was World War II, that she's from Kyrgyzstan. So he puts that in the family tree thing that he creates, and I go, no, that's just she was a Holocaust survivor. Like it's not.
Right.
She's not from there. She's
Well, this is why you find out. Then you correct them and right?
it's also Book of Mormon. It's like they go to the Mormon church to get a lot of their information. And I go, Brian, they're not going to know anything about Jews.
Who's Mormon?
The Mormon people are behind Ancestry.com.
Oh,
So
yeah.
when you're spitting in
I
that
learned
vial-
this.
Yes.
I learned this recently.
Yes, they have the big library.
You know why?
I do, but I don't want to say. I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist.
Well, why do you think?
I don't know.
I know why.
Okay, tell me.
Because it's part of the mission of the Mormon people to convert all people who have been on planet Earth to Mormonism, even the people who have died. So they try and connect it all to living Mormons. So this is my Mormon friend taught me this literally last week.
So to make their numbers bigger.
Well, maybe.
And the Russians
the cynical version would be to make their numbers bigger. The light and fluffy version is that we are saving souls. So they'll find out that you are connected to this person who's connected to that person, and now you're back into the 1800s. But because they can track the lineage, they can then claim or save the souls even of those who have passed, and embrace them into the Mormon church and then put them into the big book.
Oh my God.
Isn't that wild?
That's nuts.
It's really, yeah.
Well, I keep telling my father-in-law, we're not in there. Trust me. And the only time we are is because they converted us to get a bike.
Right.
Did you know that if you convert a Jew, the Mormon church gives you a bike?
If you convert a Jew to Mormonism,
you get a bike.
You get a bike?
Yes.
Wow.
We are
Can I do it as a Catholic?
You can. We are a big ticket item.
Can I just drop you off at the Mormon?
Be like, where's my Schwinn?
Yeah. We were in Salt Lake City. I could have dropped your name and gotten a bike.
Oh my God, you could have dunked me in a big pool. Do they do that? Do they baptize like that?
I don't think they do.
No.
I don't think they do. I think that's a Christian thing.
Is that just, yeah. Or your people? Don't Catholics do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think they do. I don't think Catholics go to like a lake. It's too fun. I think we just pour some oil and stuff on your forehead in the church.
Hey guys, we're gonna go jet skiing.
No.
Because cousin Robert found the savior.
No, we are not about enjoying all this.
That's hilarious that you think posthumously. Am I saying that word correctly?
I don't know. I'm probably not, because I'm not sure what word you're saying.
Posthumously.
Posthumously.
Yeah, that you can save someone's soul.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's really...
That arrogance.
Yeah. That's their thing. There's a term for it. For going back, and it's like your job is you're supposed to be actively tracking all of these people through history and dropping them into your...
That's bananas. I'm
sorry. So like you can get some guy who was dead in 1920 who didn't even know the word Mormon, but they can claim it as theirs. I mean, for them.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Retroactive savior.
You ever see the Book of Mormon?
I have not. It's one of the biggest regrets.
It's still on Broadway.
Okay.
It's still on Broadway.
Well,
you should see it.
I want to see it so badly.
It's one of the funniest shows.
I wanted to take my husband when it was at the Pantages. I can't remember what happened, but I couldn't get it together.
Yeah.
The thing is, here's my problem. I want the best seats.
Yeah.
And for that, it's like, okay, am I willing to drop $1,000?
I know.
You know,
so expensive.
So I don't know. I just waited too long, but I'll go see it for sure. I want to see it.
It's really great.
I did take my kids to a Hanukkah dinner last night.
Ooh, you did?
Yes.
All right. What was that?
And they felt bad because they didn't know all the words to all the songs. And I taught them a trick. I said, here's how you just sing along. And you don't even have to say words. You can say gibberish.
Right.
But just be a little sad when saying it.
Oh.
Right? You're just a little bit
and you're just
melancholy.
a hair behind.
And you're just a hair behind, and you don't have to even say the real words. And they tried it. And they're like, it worked.
Is there any part of you that will they be bar mitzvahed or any of that stuff? No. They go to a Jewish camp, and I feel like that's enough. Right.
For a couple weeks of summer,
right.
learn a couple dances, sing a song.
So Irish and Puerto Rican, was he Catholic?
Catholic, both sides.
Both sides.
Very Catholic.
So but the kids don't go to church.
No, the closest we got was a little bit of a daycare at a church for the older one. Again, just
Daycare and camp. That's close enough.
I think that's the best you can do sometimes. You're giving them a taste.
Right.
But I will say, my father-in-law, whom I love, he really is great. He's an incredible person. He wants to just make stuff for you and give you things and create helpful. He was a little, kind of didn't like Jews at first. I don't know why, but like he did kind of give me some weird Jewy gifts at first. Yeah, like like a Christmas ornament for Christmas as a stocking stuffer. But it was like Mickey Mouse wearing a yarmulke.
All right, he's
in
trying.
the shape of a Star of David.
Well,
but I don't.
I thought you were gonna say he gave you like rosary beads, like
no
Jesus on the cross or something. I mean,
no,
he's trying to honor your thing.
Yeah.
Just a little off.
But, it's a little weird.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, like, if
Not
your
really.
in-laws, it is.
Why is that weird?
Because it was like a Christmas ornament of a Hasidic Mickey. It just doesn't.
I'm not saying it's not muddled.
It's muddled.
It's muddled, but the expression is, I think, I've never met the man.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what you're alluding to. But it sounds to me like he's trying to.
He tried.
He's like, she likes cats. I'll give her this magnet.
Sure. Yes. But also, no. What am I going to do with this? He gave me a singing rabbi once.
But you have a tree.
We do. We have a beautiful
is the
tree.
Mickey thing on the tree?
I think it might be.
Yeah. There
Because
you
I
go.
feel bad.
There you go.
Because he knows the Jew's going to feel guilty if she doesn't put it up.
That's right. And you get a little Jesus in there. Well, this was really fun. I'm very excited to go off to New Jersey and land in Tommy DeVito land.
Please set up a camera. I'm begging you.
Yeah.
A GoPro in the corner. You won't regret it.
Hey! I was wondering, I was thinking I should show up with a Tommy DeVito jersey.
Even better.
I think his jerseys have spiked like 1,000%.
I would not doubt it.
It's so great. Well, we're moving closer and closer to the big holidays. I'll give you a little update. I've baked 6 loaves of bread. It is kind of upsetting that I can't give you my bread.
You can.
I know, but then you're just going to throw it away.
Absolutely not. We have people over. I'll cut it up. I'll serve it to
I'll
our
do
guests.
it closer.
Yes.
Maybe for Christmas.
I promise
or
you.
New
I'll
Year's.
take such good care of it.
But I am baking a ton of it.
I'll wrap it in a little baby blanket.
Do you hear that sound?
What's that?
That's Joey saying, why not give it to me?
Oh, yeah, I did hear
You know
that.
why, Joey? Because you get everything.
All right.
What did tell Kira what you left Thanksgiving with?
Cornbread? Did I leave?
No.
With,
It took you and your
Cookies?
brother and your cousin to get it outside to the Uber.
A television.
Yeah.
What?
Oh yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
take a television.
I can't believe I had to remind him. A whole flat screen TV. Yeah. So
Wow. Joey makes out like a bandit.
he sure does. He sure does.
Wow, Joseph.
All right. Happy holidays, everybody. We'll see you next week.